the way that the company works is they're actually based in Osaka, Japan. So it's a direct sales company specializing in medical equipment. So Kangen Water being a medical device.
The link is up.
So we can do it globally, over 120 countries currently at the moment. Yeah.
I don't understand.
Is that what you mean by capacity?
It's not.
Well, I want to know, like, are you an MLM?
I just
this is actually direct sales, so it's not multi-level marketing. It's more like commissions, overrides, bonuses, that type of thing.
But it's the same structure.
Same structure, right? You have an organization underneath.
Why is it not
but
online?
not necessarily like auto ship, subscription, selling low ticket products. It's a high ticket product with big commissions.
Do you feel a lot of pressure?
All right, you ready? I'm ready.
In terms of
Getting the sales?
no, not at all.
Okay, good.
No,
I want to know,
it's very
like,
fluid.
are
We
you
have
an
their system.
MLM?
I did. I just
This is actually direct sales, leads generation.
They can hear us, just so you know. Yeah. You're going to introduce yourself as a host, too. So after Eddie, introduce yourself. And we are live. You can catch us on Rumble and YouTube. And we'll be on Locals in a little bit. We'll be right back with you, Howlers. We'll be right back. How's over Baz. I'm Jacob Casas.
I'm Rico Savage.
Eddie Millis.
And I'm Ashley Paola.
And today we have a very special guest. I want to thank Ashley for having him come on. But I'm going to have you introduce yourself and tell a little bit about people about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, sounds good. My name's Aldrin Vicente. I'm actually based right here in Rancho Cucamonga. Have been since, 7th grade, so 15 plus years now. I actually specialize in the high-ticket affiliate marketing space. I also own Stellar Credit, so we do credit consulting, credit repair, essentially anything wrapped around credit, funding, travel hacking, basically anything to do with credit cards and business credit. Other than that, we just show people how to not only fix their credit, but to leverage OPM, other people's money, so that they can start online businesses that you can run remotely from anywhere in the world. So I really just in that high ticket sales coaching space, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the high ticket that, because I've been hearing we had a guy on here too for credit repair. Oh no, you guys weren't on here yet.
No, it's the dude from Detroit.
No. But
Michigan?
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about like the high ticket sales for that.
Yeah. So I actually about 2016, I actually invested in what's called a Kangen Water ionizer, right? So it's actually a licensed medical device from Japan. And so with that business, I actually coach people in that space with, medical grade equipment from Japan, high commissions, high ticket. And in terms of, credit, the reason that we launched Stellar Credit in the first place was because people would come across the information, they'd come across our content, our resources, maybe a funnel, a paid ad, and they'd love it, they got to have it, they want to have it for their family, but then it always came down to funding. It always came down to financing. Oh, my credit sucks, I got to fix this. Right?
Oh, so hold up. So that's how you got into credit repair is dealing with that. Smart, because then you can like, hey,
it's a double dip,
So were you involved in credit repair before that?
No, prior to that, just 100%. I had my run with network marketing, MLM at a very young age. I got burned by 3 or 4 different companies. Wrong product, wrong company. Just essentially the wrong.
Mostar.
Yeah, Mostar. Yeah, seriously. Over 999 out of 1,000 are
That's
going
right.
bankrupt.
But there's bad chiropractors, bad doctors.
Exactly,
anyway, right?
Exactly, yeah. So fortunately for me, obviously I didn't give up on number 3 or 4 or 5 failures. Got into this business in 2016. And then that's when we started to kind of see a need. People kept talking about credit. There was always like a pain point behind it. So I tell my wife, I'm like, look, why don't we just learn how to fix people's credit, get them 0-interest credit cards, and then boom, double dip, and just have them come right back to this. So
how long you been fixing credit now then?
Credit has been since 2018.
18.
Yeah.
Okay.
Truthfully, what's the success rate? Because, I know that space, and I know what it takes.
Yeah.
But you just can't magically take somebody who their credit's so bad they can't buy a lawnmower and fix it, right? So it's a process.
Yeah.
What's your success rate, and usually how long does it take?
Good question. So right now, just based on all of our data over the past years, we're actually have over a 70% success rate, and it's like what you said. There's no magic pill. There's no magic wand that we can wave. Some people just have shit credit.
Yeah.
There's no way around it, right? So we can't just snap our finger and think that these things are going to go away. It takes years. It takes years for them to ruin their credit. It's gonna take longer than a couple.
They
weeks
need to be
fix
aware
it.
of that.
100%. And that's I think that's why we do so well. Is because we're 100% transparent with our clients. Like, I'm going to tell you what you want to hear so that we can get these goals, right? Not what you want to hear just so we can take your money, right? So
Is your system proprietary? I mean, obviously, like credit repair, you got to dispute stuff and write letters and this and that. Do you have a system that's different than anyone else?
I would say, a lot of people in the credit space, they like to claim that what they do is proprietary. Realistically, it's really just about consistency.
Absolutely.
But also, what is proprietary about working with Stellar Credit with my company is the educational platform that you get access to. So that is because credit repair is a two-sided coin, right?
Of course.
On one side, you have removing that negative history from the past, that thorn in your side. But on the flip side, you also want to build and maintain some positive credit history as well. That's where most credit repair companies stop, is they really don't give a shit. They're going to maybe remove a hard inquiry or maybe a late payment or two, but they're not going to equip or educate their clients. So I would say, in that sense, definitely proprietary working with Stellar.
So what's one of the main things with younger people trying to build their credit? Like, what's a good way to start?
Yeah, so to start building credit, obviously secured credit cards are always a good idea. Maybe putting yourself as an authorized user on a few accounts.
Very smart.
But it's not a magic pill. As easily as I can see that it's an authorized user account, any bank, any lender, any institution will see that in a split second with their underwriting processes, right? So it helps to have authorized user accounts, but if you do not have primary accounts that you yourself are responsible for, i.e., credit cards, secured credit cards, loans, even if you're starting at 500 to 1,000, depositing that money and opening these accounts, you're just building and establishing, bank relationships, right? So I would say for people wanting to start or repair or fix or build their credit, you want to have as much credit history as possible. So there's that common misconception that too much credit is a bad thing for you. That's actually false. You want to have as much credit as you possibly can.
I heard one guy having I think he said 20 credit cards.
Yeah.
And it was in my head, I'm like,
I don't even know how many I have. Yeah.
I like what you said about consistency. I am in a disagreement on something about having that much credit, because what happens if the shit hits the fan? Then what do you do?
Yeah, obviously if shit hits the fan, some people, they kind of scramble. They go to, Chapter 7, Chapter 13, or they, go and do debt consolidation, which obviously it's an industry that needs to make money for themselves too, right? So it doesn't really make sense. So shit does hit the fan, but in most cases, if you're educating and equipping your clients properly, they should be leveraging it, because there's a big difference between debt and credit.
Yeah,
right?
okay, so when you say leverage, like let's say you take a lot of credit. I'm an entrepreneur, right? And first of all, like, my philosophy is like, the only ship that doesn't sail is a partnership. I don't need partners, I use my own money, and I live by the sword and die by the sword. Because if it's my money, these guys know. Like when I did events and started King of the Cage with Terry and all that, the night before the event, I'm out selling tickets till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. If I was using other people's money, I'm not going to have the same work ethic, and I think a lot of people go about that. And number two, when you do have partners, you have to deal with your partner. Yeah. So, and then what happens if somebody leverages their credit? And then they say hey, they come to you, you're a smart guy, and they say, all right, I want to get $50,000, so you make this stuff happen. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to start a clothing line called, we kick ass.
Yeah.
Because they're delusional. No, but most entrepreneurs are delusional. I'm on the board.
You gotta be a little delusional.
I'm on a board of director for a leadership conference, and I speak at these colleges about entrepreneurships. I hope minorities learn how to stop. And 9 out of 10 people that come up to me at the conference with their ideas.
Their ideas, yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm smiling because I have to.
Yeah.
But the delusion is real. So do you also ethically tell these guys, like, let's say somebody comes up to you and says, I'm gonna start a clothing line called Get Ready Bitch or whatever, and I want you to help me build my credit and get $50,000. Would you be the guy to say, you know what, I don't need your money that much. I think you're going down the wrong path. You need a better business
100%.
plan?
Yeah,
Good.
I'll turn you away, because when I turn you away, you're going to send me 10 referrals.
Right.
Yeah, but you're also really good at, and he's leveraging and giving them an opportunity. Like if they're a true entrepreneur and they're really wanting to build something, he's gonna guide.
Here.
Sorry, he's gonna guide them to the opportunity to make money, and then from there use that money to build a business.
Wait, what do you mean define true entrepreneur?
So check this out. On that subject, right? Oftentimes they're like, I want to start a clothing brand, or some lady wants to start a salon, or they want to do something that obviously is going to have a 99% failure rate. And most of these people, they're delusional, right? They don't see these things. So if I'm fixing somebody's credit and they're telling me, I wanted to use my credit to start a business, can you help me get $50,000, right? Well, my first thing is, well, have you considered exactly what you're going to be doing to recoup that investment? If you're going to pull and leverage $50,000, you better have a plan of at least profiting 100.
Business plan?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You better have a business plan in place, right?
Yeah.
And you also need to have a shit hits the fan plan as well, because regardless, you're not going to avoid it. You can't escape it. This is going to be messing up your credit, right? I will ask them, have you ever considered an online business that's maybe not brick and mortar, that does not have overhead, doesn't have expenses and all the stuff that traditionally comes with business? That
Minimal orders.
You know, it's
Yeah.
coming in at $50,000 to $100,000 bare minimum. If I can show you how to leverage a zero interest credit card for a $5,000 measly startup investment, but have the potential to be earning multi-five figures on a monthly basis, would that be something that you're open to? So I'm gonna go ahead and take that client that wanted to get funding, and I'm gonna be steering them towards this high ticket product, because again, that gives me the opportunity to fix their credit and coach them when it comes to income. So
So
that's
you
kinda
do
like-
you do
yeah.
coaching for businesses as well.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
but you
So you're
said
like-
something very important that I said on the, sorry to interrupt you, but
go
on the
ahead.
podcast. It's one to clip from here when I first came on is consistency. And if you're going to be solid entrepreneurs, like my thing is I'll outwork you. That's my thing. Like I'll work on the weekends if I have to. I'll do what it takes to get where I want to go, and that's where I could do the thing that I want to do or drive what I want to drive. So I like that you said consistency. I think entrepreneurs nowadays, in general, they need to be educated, and they need to know they have to have somebody mentor them and say, you know what, listen, brother, I've been down that path, or sister, and I'm not. You know, this is kind of a pipe dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have. Yeah.
So
I like the fact that you'll turn people away.
So
Yeah.
for the entrepreneurs that you do business for the coaching side, so you get a lot of these. It's like you're doing 3-in-1 in a sense, right? So when you get a lot of your clients from helping with credit for the coaching side, or is it just you get the coaching first and then you help them with the credit? How does this work?
I think it
How does
goes
usually
every
work?
way, shape, or form, right? Like the way I think of it is kind of like a trifecta, right? Either you're going to fall into my pipeline, at one certain step in the process, right? Either you have the money and you want to start a business, boom, I can start you there. Either you want the funding but you simply can't access it, boom, let's fix your credit. If you have all three, then we can go ahead and just get locked and loaded right now, and then we can start making money tonight. So yeah, it kind of just depends on that person.
Do you help with business credit as well? Then are you like how many different businesses do you help with their business credit?
Business
Corporations, things like that.
Yeah, quite a few actually. So in terms of business credit, I'm only leveraging like zero interest business lines, business credit cards, that type of stuff. I don't really go too deep into like corporate credit or non-PG
Okay.
and stuff
SBA?
like that, right? SBA, I don't touch myself personally, but I will refer out to somebody. that I
Very
know.
tough right now.
Yeah.
You know,
it is.
everybody, all these people.
SCTC too, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
After the
ERC.
election, we'll
Listen,
probably have
if you're
better
listening right now,
FBAs.
do not fall for these bullshit online where you're going to get
Yeah.
zero interest credit and get $100,000, just pay this fee, and you're going to do this, and that. It doesn't happen. Like Dun and Bradstreet and all this, and you're going to get the perfect rating and get this. It doesn't work like that. Because
Yeah.
what happens is these guys, they think they're going to get the Dun score up. They're going to get a $100,000 line of credit, and it doesn't happen. Come on.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
The SBAs right now are like super hard to get. Even people that have good credit and everything, and their business has been established. I know people right now that were trying to get SBA loans and they can't even get them. And before they were handing them out like nothing.
Yeah.
So I feel
Yeah.
like I think after the election, the people will be able to get the SBAs things like that more.
Possibly. And then, obviously you have a lot of people out there like, everybody's a fucking expert these days. Everybody's a guru. So it's like, hey, pay me for XYZ, and then let me get your ERC, your employee retention credit, or let me get you your SETC credit. It's not being filed properly because they're not an actual fiduciary or like a licensed CPA that knows what the hell they're doing, right? So now you have the IRS pumping the brakes on all this fraud, and the people that are doing it legitimately, genuinely, are still put on that backlist.
The IRS is going after all those people now too.
Oh, it's tough.
People are fucked. Like I know scammers, or I know people that I thought were good. What do you mean you're doing retention credit stuff? I thought you were doing what?
Exactly.
Opportunists.
Yeah, exactly.
So they jumped
The
on board,
opportunists, yeah.
and now the feds are knocking on their door. And,
It's like, squirrel, let's go,
Yeah.
and that's the problem with entrepreneurs these days, is they're always looking for that next quick fix.
quick and easy.
Quick and easy.
And listen.
And it ain't worthwhile.
Entrepreneurs out there, if you find something quick and easy, call me or send me a message. I want to get on. But there's nothing quick and easy.
Well, there's a lot of people that are just not real entrepreneurs. I mean, they have online stuff going on and things like that. Because there's like people that are saying that I'm an expert in everything right now, and we know. We had businesses a lot longer.
we're here for you guys, but the amount of fake shit.
Yeah.
that you have to deal with. That's what I want to
No,
know.
I
too.
wanna
I'm
touch
seeing
on
on there,
that too, actually.
like I said recently, the fake cars and the fake. Everything's fake,
Yeah.
and like you can get an app to make your bank account look like it's so and so, and
Yeah.
It's a facade.
and
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Like
It's all
I
for
would
social
trust-
media.
I would.
Until you make it,
I get it, but I would
that's it.
trust. Do your research. Do your homework. It's not about the car you drive. That car might be. And hey, you can, of course, leasing cars a write-off, but make sure like you research who you're dealing with and who this guru is, because you're right. How the hell, in the last 2 years, did there be so many business gurus that popped up?
Yeah.
And
Right.
a lot of them are gone though. Like
Yeah.
they were popped up and then now they're gone. I lived in Miami for 2 years. So I got burned from other MLMs as well, and I had to see all that. Like I saw people renting out cars. I saw people, buying stuff and then returning it. Like
Create
all
the
things
illusion, huh?
Just to create the illusion, and they would train people on it.
It's called
So
vanity metrics.
It was like
vanity metrics. Yeah.
And then
Vanity
and then I
Explain that
met
after.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Then I actually met wealthy people, and those people usually aren't even the ones showing it off. Like they're more humble. Like the ones that are actually wealthy,
They don't care.
They're not trying to do all that. Even if they're trying to build a business, behind doors, they're able to do not show off on social media.
Yeah.
Guy pulls up in a
Yeah,
Volkswagen
yeah.
Bug. I'm going to this concert at the Rose Bowl. My friend has a nice house walking down. Pulls up in a Bug. Coolest motherfucker. Hey, what do you guys want to drink? Whatever. Later on in the concert, who that is now? He's worth 40 mil.
Yeah.
You're never the most
Yeah.
generous,
Exactly.
humble, nicest. Didn't even care about taking pictures.
Right.
Zero social media. So
No social media.
why do you
huge.
think, because you're a little bit younger than us, or not maybe Rico, but why do you think the need right now on social media is so great to prove that you're somebody?
I think it all stems from number one, instant gratification. Number two, this whole fake it till you make it concept,
Yeah.
right? Is they think that they need to lead with vanity metrics, how many views I'm getting, how many followers I have, what I'm driving, what I'm wearing on my wrist, what my girlfriend or wife is wearing. And they have it backwards. They want to have an image or put that marketing out there so that they look like a person that you want to listen to. I'm hit up every single day on Instagram from either a bot or some asshole just sending me a quick DM on how he can help me build my business. And I'm like, do you even know what my fucking business is?
Yeah.
Like, do you even know what my business is? Do you know what
Yeah.
I sell? Do you know what my service is?
Your
Do you know
pain
how we
point?
operate? I'm like, are you kidding?
Well, how can you even say that when you don't even know what their business is?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
I mean, every
That-
business is
and-
different. You know.
They're like, and then the smooth talk. Hey, Aldrin. Then you look at their stupid ass page, and it's like Ferrari, McLaren, this, that. Obviously, not their cars. They probably live in Miami somewhere, and then they're gonna hit you with their pitch. Oh, we can increase your sales by X amount. Buy my course. Buy my consulting. You don't even know what the fuck I sell, bro.
Hey, but can't you argue that it used to work? Like Ty Lopez when he first
It's
came
still
out,
working for people.
That
It's still
back
working.
in the day, that's what worked.
We know people.
Until it like
It-
deflated and
low
people
key.
were like, nah, this isn't right.
Who do you look up to?
I will say,
Like if you were to pick, like this question for everybody here, we're all business people. who's the person that you look up to and say, wow, this is a solid business person or mentor, even if you know them directly or indirectly? Who inspires you?
Indirectly, I know who inspires me is Alex Hormozy, right?
Yeah,
I feel like he's genuine, down to earth, doesn't give a shit. He shows
Who's
up
that?
with a t-shirt. Alex Hormozy, right? Hormozy, and he's behind acquisition.com.
He usually has like the little thing, right?
The nose
Little
strip,
nose
right?
strip,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that guy. He's really good.
Ed
you know,
Milet.
Ed
Really?
Milet, one of my favorites.
Ed Milet
yeah,
is
one of my
solid.
favorites.
I like Patrick Bet David, man.
He's-
PPD.
yeah,
I have,
Yeah,
I literally did exactly what he said on the video, and I made 100,000 within like 3 years of doing what he was telling me.
Yeah.
Just from what he told me to do, I did 100,000 with
How about
piece of
you?
my business.
My brother and my dad, they both businesses, and the way just my
I
dad.
love
You know what I mean?
You know what really impressed me back in the day when you were training with me is when Terry took over King of the Cage. I started my own fight promotion called Invincible, and I used to do all the shows at the convention center. But I emailed Mark Cuban and then left him my number. You know, that guy called me back in 15 minutes.
Interesting.
And ever since, I was like, wow, you can be a billionaire and that busy. And I'm not offering you the biggest thing in the world. Matter of fact, it's probably small. But the fact that he did that and he was available, I guess. And I just like what he's doing.
Yeah, I like
I
Mark
follow
Cuban a
what
lot.
Mark Cuban's doing. I feel like he's got his finger on the pulse of what's happening. But these bullshit gurus on social media, it's lately the last couple of days have really taken its toll on me because I'm looking at it and I'm like, what does it say about yourself when you've got to fake it? You know, when you got to fake it. And then one more question for you. What's up with this? I'm a public figure.
Yeah.
Why is this thing so common? What makes you a public figure?
Because
Nothing
when
now.
Yeah, seriously.
You
yeah,
can literally
public
pay a
figure,
monthly
right?
fee to have the blue check now.
Yeah.
No, but would you list it underneath your name? Like,
Well, before when
let's say.
A public figure used to be
Yeah,
like Mahatma Gandhi.
So
Yeah.
You
so it
know,
had to,
like-
Muhammad Ali.
So because you had to
That's a
have
public
because when,
figure.
when Instagram first started doing the blue checks, you had to at least. I didn't see nobody that was a public figure that had under 100K following.
Yeah.
Now you can have 1,100, 1,000 followers.
But you can say it too. You know that, right?
You could pay for the
You
check.
can-
Yeah,
you can pay
when you
for it.
make your
Check, yeah.
account a business account,
No.
you have to choose whether what your page is. So is it entrepreneur? Is it
figure,
public
right.
figure? Is
Entrepreneur,
it
yeah.
Before you have to work for it. You actually have to
I don't
work for
even
it
know
on
what it
Instagram.
says.
Right.
But
Blue
shouldn't that
check-
tell you
Swear to
something
God, it better
about
not say
somebody
public
right
figure
away?
right now.
I think one of mine does. I don't care though.
I hope mine doesn't
Well, if
say
you're
public
making-
figure. I'm
As
gonna
an
double check
entrepreneur?
this right now.
No, because when you first had to do it, and
You
you
have to
had
choose
and you
something.
had the
I get
100K
it.
following,
I'm an entrepreneur. Mine
Instagram
says
would
nothing.
choose you. They would see like who you
Okay.
are and what you're doing and how much you're posting and your hashtags and how
Yeah,
many
they ain't
people are
doing
posting your
that now.
hashtags.
But
Now
what
you don't have
But what
to.
he's talking about is when you convert your IG and switch it to a professional account, it asks
could be a public figure
you have to
immediately, yeah.
choose something.
But you
Got
won't
it.
have the blue
Just-
check.
right,
But you
but-
won't have the blue
Yeah.
check though
But
all the time. Though.
have you
Yeah.
used your Instagram to generate leads in the past? Because if you haven't, then you wouldn't really need to switch
No,
it.
I get all that, and I've seen that. But what I'm saying is, I see people out there that I know indirectly that are entrepreneurs calling themselves public figures
Yeah.
with not a pot to piss in. They live at their mom's house. They probably have 5,000 followers, and it's a facade.
Yeah, it's a facade.
And that
It's a
I think
facade.
that's a problem in itself.
Feed into
and
narcissism, for
people
sure.
I feel like people lean on this when number one they can't build reputation or credibility, number two they have shitty sales systems or they just simply can't sell or influence people, so they're going to put out a facade so that hopefully that's going to put more money in my bank account. So they have it backwards. They want to act a certain way, and then they wake up every single morning with imposter syndrome, and obviously they're not getting the results that they want, right? So I think one of the biggest things too is here's a big red flag. So for everybody watching this, if your coach or guru or mentor or whoever, right, if more than 10% of their income is coming from coaching, like pay me so I can teach you how
yeah.
to make money, right? If more than 10% of their income is coming from selling their course or teaching you, that's the first red flag. They're making money off of people's negligence, people's pipe dreams, empty dreams.
They're drinking the Kool-Aid, Jim
They're-
Jones.
They're not turning. They're not turning them away. They're not turning them away.
Yeah, they're making maybe $5,000 a month, and then they're like, "Hey, I'm an e-com expert. Let me show you how to make."
If you're an
50,000.
e-com expert,
Yeah.
why would the fuck you teach somebody?
Exactly.
Why? How come you're
If-
not
if
just
That's
Those
why,
are
saying?
pumping
that's why I said it's a red flag.
Yeah.
It's
They're
a red
pumping
flag.
dumps.
It's a red
Eventually,
flag.
it's going to. That's what happened to a lot of MLMs. It's like it's built off of hype, but then eventually it's going to dwindle down because there's no results, and then people are just going to end up losing.
The real moguls, like the people that I know that are doing really, really well in e-commerce, they don't give a shit about teaching people. They're just too busy getting the next warehouse.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. I ain't trying to teach shit. I'm trying to make the money.
Yeah.
Look,
listen,
I don't give. I think people that are doing that shit a lot of the
You
time.
come to me on break and you say, "Hey Eddie, man, I got this e-commerce secret." We're not teaching it. We're putting the money into
Yeah.
that, and let's
Yeah.
rock and roll.
Unless it's
Yeah.
literally legit your business to teach.
Well, I mean,
you
it's
know?
like saying to somebody that you find a fucking gold mine, a real gold mine in the hills.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
You're
Jay,
not,
can't be
gonna tell
like-
you're not gonna tell nobody about that shit.
Yeah.
fuck no.
But I think it's different. I think it's
Exactly.
different if you have a system that
Yeah.
actually works, that's creating you results. Like
a
Aldrin-
downline, like residual income.
Yes, like
Obviously,
Well, yeah,
I'm
Patrick
highly
McDavid, he's actually big on that.
incentivized
You need to have coaches. He says that
Yeah.
all the
Right.
time,
Yeah.
and I do believe that. It is
I
good
believe
to
that.
people that are better, that are doing something more than you. I really believe that you need to have coaches, and you got to go to them, and but they got to know about your business at least. That's what I was going to ask you. So, the businesses that you help, like what kind of businesses have you helped? Like what do they do? What are the businesses?
People in e-commerce, people in
Okay.
consulting,
And that's what you do,
videography.
see?
Well, think about this. There's not a single entrepreneur, there's not a single industry out there that can't leverage credit or business credit.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you going to pay $2,000 cash for your new camera, or are you going to leverage a credit card, zero interest, and then write it off as a deduction? So, like, I feel I'm easily placeable in any situation or scenario. It doesn't matter if you're in real estate, mortgage, car sales, solar sales, high ticket sales, online coaching, marketing. You need credit, and so I can help you with that. And then if we build a trust and a bond, obviously people do business with others that they know, like, and trust. So
Yeah.
if we get to that point, hey, maybe I could talk to you about my high ticket business, and we can pump this into your already existing business and just generate some more revenue. You know? So,
Talk to
yeah.
me about one business in particular that maybe you like a lot, that you're coaching, you're helping out. Give us a little rundown on
And
it.
how are they doing since you started with them?
Yeah, so I mean, a good friend of mine, he has a marketing agency, right? So videography, media, all that type of stuff. They want it to scale, and what's going to be better is saving money to do that, or just leveraging zero interest credit cards. So being able to stack up new computers, new cameras, new lighting equipment, but also not only that, the marketing that you're doing on Facebook, TikTok, Meta, Instagram, YouTube, right? I'm earning 5x the points on that using my business gold card and being able to travel for free, 3 or 4 times a year. So showing people how no matter what business you're in, you're literally leaving money on the table if you're not leveraging credit properly.
And he's right. I haven't done that, but I do know friends that have their own business that do that. So that's cool. We are leaving a lot of money on the table. There's so much things you can do. It's just you would need someone like you handling that kind of stuff. For
Well, you got to know, and he's one of the few people
Yeah.
I've sat with, probably only person I sat with since I've been around here that understands that. And yeah, I do the same thing. And you got to use those points and all of that. Yeah, it's great.
I mean, we've been to 15 countries in the past 4 or 5 years, all for free, business class, first class, and it's like, this is stuff that you wouldn't be taking advantage of. And every time you reach for that debit card, every time you use cash for your business, you're exposing yourself to risk. You're exposing yourself to security or data breaches. You're leaving money on the table. I mean, I swipe a credit card for $50,000 and I get scammed. Well, guess what? I have $1 million in coverage. Boom. My liability is zero. If you use $50,000 on a ACH deposit or a check or some type of Zelle transfer, you're fucked. And then guess what? You still got to pay for kids' tuition. You still got to pay rent. You still got to pay for food while the, bank is doing research or investigating to get you your money back. Maybe, right? But with credit, all I do is one phone call, dispute that charge. That wasn't me. It was fraudulent, or it was just a non-existent business to begin with, and I get my money free and clear.
That's the one that's happened
so
to on
what's the-
Venmo.
So the thing that you do is literally, I do it all the time, but I hate doing it.
So what's the right way?
It's like
You say
pain in the
you
butt.
take those free trips and stuff. What's the right way to get to that point? What do you do to get
Look
to
at
that?
he's like, I want to know.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Everybody should want to know.
It is.
Be a little
Dude,
more
it is.
clear, because you said business class, and we know how many points it takes to get to business class.
So what's the
Yeah.
right way to
Well, but
to
you're gonna
build-
have to
to
spend
build?
a lot of money.
Let me say
build.
this, and my friend's
No, it
probably...
is. It's smart. I haven't
Yeah.
done it either. I
My
want
friend's
to.
probably going to watch this.
hold
He's
on,
going to get
hold on.
pissed, but I just heard that one of my boys just used $100,000 to fly to Nashville, and I'm like, bro, you're fucking...
100,000 points.
What?
Bro, like, oh my God, you don't know. So you definitely don't want to be booking it with like Amex or Capital One or Chase, like, within their housing, or like their platform. You want to make sure to get these Amex points or Chase Ultimate Rewards points and be transfer out to these transfer partners, right? Are you working with Singapore Airlines, Lufthansa, Hilton, Marriott,
Starlux.
Bonvoy, any of these, right? The Star Alliance, right? You should be looking in their databases, finding the best flights for points at cost, at pennies on the dollar, and transfer into that and book like that. I only more than likely I'm only booking one way, right? So if we fly to Europe, I'm booking a one-way business class flight, and then it's kind of open-ended. And now I'm going to then search for my flight to come back home. It's just going to be cheaper that way. But I mean, we just did Japan round trip, business class, 73,000 points. So I told this guy,
That's
like,
it.
I mean, this guy could have gone to Japan and back, but he went to Nashville.
Which airline?
Yeah.
Which airline?
Yeah.
Which one? Japan? JAL?
We did JAL,
Yeah.
and JAL there.
Great airline.
That's fantastic.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that took care of the baby.
I mean, it
yeah.
ain't Singapore Airlines.
Well, here's the thing. We did JAL there, Singapore back.
Oh, you did? Okay, so you know the
yeah,
difference.
I know the deal.
Singapore is
yeah.
like a flying.
I'm gonna have to hit you up after the show. I need to get on that. I've been
actually-
lagging it.
Everybody needs an Aldrin in their
I've been
life.
flying on Starlux a lot.
They do, though.
They're
Legit.
Taiwanese. They're
Yeah.
Exactly,
by the
yeah.
people that started. Anyway, they're a fantastic airline. and I
Yeah,
fly
yeah.
business
No,
on
so
them.
I want to, travel comfortable. This was our first time traveling with our.
I pay full
8-month-old.
price every time I go somewhere.
Yeah,
And I know I don't need to. You
But
know what I'm
imagine
saying?
this, right? Imagine this. All businesses have some type of overhead, some type of expense. We go out to eat after this. We buy all of this equipment, or maybe we take a trip, right? These dollars are being spent on our business anyway. Might as well be swiping a credit card strategically to be maxing out how much points you're getting. So if this credit card is going to max, if
The merchants are paying for
We
it.
should have been doing that shit.
you know what it, you know what it really is.
No, I know.
I think for me, like what's helped me out a lot is like I have like major OCD, so like I'm like hyper organized with all of my businesses
Right.
and everything like that. So I know if I'm gonna go buy groceries, I'm gonna swipe this credit card. I know that if I'm gonna take an Uber, I'm swiping this credit card, or if so I know where those are gonna fill the buckets the fastest, and then I just plan accordingly. So I just got back from Japan. We did everything round trip, points. And I still have like over 600,000 Amex points that I still get to use. Like I can't possibly use all of it in time. If I spend $10,000 on marketing this month, I'm getting 50,000 points.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you look at people that are getting the Apple Card, for instance,
Exactly.
and it doesn't do anything for you.
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah. That's a good question. So what kind of credit cards do you use?
Amex, he said.
Amex.
Amex?
Amex is my favorite. American Express.
And you don't need the black card.
No. No,
Platinum
no.
is good.
Platinum's good. Gold
Gold's
is good.
good.
Those are charge cards, so you can't carry a balance, or you don't want to carry a balance on those. So you're just going to be swiping that for like meals, gas, marketing, that type of stuff. Platinum, I literally just carry with me when I travel to get into the lounges. Chase, you stack
So I
ultimate
bank with,
rewards.
yep.
So think of it this way, right? Chase and Amex are Pinnacle. These are the two banks that you want to have the best banking relationships with. Chase is specifically going to be geared towards travel hacking, hotels, right?
Private
Stays,
client.
Private client, accommodations, that type of thing. Hilton, Marriott. Now, American Express is going to be used for transferring into airlines transfers. Lufthansa, flying first class, business class with Virgin Airlines, Delta, anything that you want to do there. Yeah.
Very
There-
cool.
we can really go down the rabbit hole.
No, that's
Like-
good. Honestly, this is good for the
but
audience.
I think that's
Trust me, this is
something-
good. This is
honestly,
how-to stuff.
That's something where somebody should pay to be coached on that.
Yeah.
And it
Exactly.
could be a nominal fee, because here's the thing. A lot of us, you, me, I give out my info for free. I've done it on the podcast. I do it at the colleges, which I don't mind. You have to have a charitable component. You have to give. You have to help people. But at some point, it becomes exhausting. Like, I spent this long to learn this much, and sure, take me to dinner, man. Fuck. Don't
Yeah.
call me up on the phone. And if
Yeah.
you take me to dinner, it better be some
Yeah.
bomb-ass sushi.
Yeah.
And I'll give you some advice, you know what I
Let's go.
mean?
Let's go.
But it's hard to come by good info, and he knows the hacks. And it's really not a hack. It's just knowledge. Knowledge is the key.
Yeah.
There's so many programs out there. We can talk about hotels and the stuff that you can get with some of these, and joining these companies that they're not credit cards, but they deal with the hotels, and you get points and all that. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So did you learn the knowledge from? Because you said earlier you messed up about 2 or 3 times, and then you started. You know what I mean? It took you those times to fail. So where were you at that point in your life? Like before you started doing all this, and that made you want to learn these hacks and everything.
Yeah. So
That's a good question.
Yeah, kind of going back. Let's go back to the beginning. I come from no college degree, no background whatsoever. Obviously Jim Rohn talking about formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune.
For
right?
sure.
So I got addicted to books and kind of reading and knowledge. And I'm working 3 restaurant jobs at the time, right here.
Right on.
Right here in the Inland Empire. So Mimi's Cafe, Lazy Dog, and Panda Inn, all Rancho Cucamonga.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
Panda Inn.
Yeah. So that's me, just busboy, server, food runner, washing dishes. I did everything besides management. And when I stumbled across businesses and I got exposed to network marketing, MLM, I saw people making what my parents were earning on a monthly basis, and I just didn't even think that was possible. And I feel like what we're all taught, in terms of making more money, we're only taught really 2 things, and it's just bad programming. Number 1, if you want to make more money, you think that you need to work more hours, or number 2, you got to get paid more per hour, but that's not the case. Like,
Work smarter.
Work smarter, have some type of system, like find a way to make money in your sleep. So I feel like the mistakes that I made were maybe wrong product, wrong company, or wrong business partners. And going back to what you said in the beginning, I will not partner with anybody anymore. I don't need a
Do
partner.
you use that saying?
Yeah, I just, what was it?
The only ship that doesn't sail is a partnership.
I love it. No, and you know what? I learned that from Darren Hardy. So Darren Hardy, on one of his little 5-minute, the 5-minute Hardy session, I don't know what do you call it, but, the editor of Entrepreneur Success Magazine, he said that after my 5th or 6th run with it, I've learned my lesson. I will never partner up with anybody ever again. You have less control. You have one person or the other kicking their feet up, expecting the other person to do all the work.
Of course.
You have one person taking the hit financially, putting everything on paper. You have those people that believe, control everything, own nothing on paper. So
I do.
Yeah.
Have a partner since 2015, and she's amazing.
Okay.
Not a problem.
They're few
I
and far
do,
between, yeah.
but we started off differently. We started off as we were together, and absolutely amazing, no problem. But then I always preach, don't do it. And then I kind of got in a little something again, and I'm like, fuck. Because sometimes you get in that point where human nature is wanting to trust somebody. You want to, I want to believe in you. I want to believe in you. I want to trust that you're going to do the right thing. Him and I are doing stuff together. I've known Jacob for a long time. I don't need a contract from Jacob. He's one of the few I don't need a contract with. I wouldn't ask him for that because I trust Jacob. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think you also have to surround yourself with those people that you look in their eyes, you got a good feeling.
Yeah.
But there's something I want to touch on that you said. I love the fact, man, that you work 3 jobs to get where you want to go. And that is the biggest issue. Nobody, wants to fucking work anymore.
Yeah, no.
I've got employees, and I'm not going to say anything about my employees.
Because
But I'll talk about my friends' employees
Tag 'em.
or other employees. But it's ridiculous, they don't want to work, and they don't have the work ethic. And if you don't have the work ethic like you have, and wanting to go home and read books, there's a saying, I don't know if you heard this, I want to share this out with everybody. They say if you read a book a week on the same subject every week, 52 weeks in the year for 2 years, you'll be one of the world's leading expert on that. So if you read fucking a book on yellow canaries, but a different book every week, Jacob should start this. And then 2 years from now, you'll be one of the leading experts on yellow canaries. But that's it, right? You gotta read, and you gotta read, but you gotta read from the right people. You can't doom scroll and read from these.
Yeah, Google doesn't always have answers.
We were just on a training right before this. I just talked about this. Literally just talked about this. Let's talk about let's take a deeper dive into what persistence actually is, right?
Mm-hmm.
They talk about the master has just logged 10,000 hours, right? We hear that all the time. The only difference between, what Bruce Lee said, I don't fear the man that has 10,000 different punches and, practice them once. I fear the man that
Practice
practiced
that
one
punch.
10,000 times, because a punch is not a punch, it's a punch, right? So, the problem is that here people are 4 months in, 6 months in, they're like, hey, I know, right? Let me go charge people to fucking teach them this stuff, right? Because they hear these things like, oh, the best way to learn something is by teaching it. Well, that doesn't mean you go and charge somebody to teach them if you don't really know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
Because there's
a lot of people doing that.
The biggest difference is this: it's not just the 10,000 hours of practice. It's 10,000 hours of practice with correction, feedback, and input. By doing it. Plan, do, review. You better have a coach. You better have a mentor, because you could be on the wrong path for a long time, thinking you're making forward progress, but we're supposed to be going that way. You see what I'm saying? So
Well, what I noticed about you already was something different than a lot of people. So you started off with this, and then you had a lot of problems because of people's credit and things like that. So you just found a solution for that.
Yeah, you found a solution.
And then you saw other things for business coaching for different things like that. So you found a solution for that and got into that. So it's all something that helps your first initial
It's an
business,
ecosystem. It's
and
a
you build
self-sustaining ecosystem.
So you're like, hey, I can help you with this now. Like you ain't getting away from me. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like you're gonna take my business.
He's got it.
And like
I think I read somewhere now. Like you get in, you get the water. He's got somebody to come and pour it for you. You can hire. That's what you need. That's what you do.
Yeah, but that's how I've ran my business. If I saw something that something's going on, and I need to figure out a solution for it. A lot of people don't do that. They don't figure out solutions for the problems they have for their business, and they just kind of like just leave it there
That's all they're focusing
and leave
on.
it. Yeah.
The longer you focus on the problem, the longer you're focusing on the
Problem's
problem, the
gonna-
less time you have putting towards a solution, right? So it's like, see, what people don't suck at sales, they just suck at listening for problems. Like if all we want to do is identify and find or maybe bring a problem to the surface that this person didn't actually know that they had. Accentuate that problem, because the way that I look at it is like a gap, right? Here they are, here's their situation, here's where they want to be. I want to accentuate that gap, right? What's kind of holding you back? What's missing? What do you need to get from here to there? So I want to talk to them about the problems, and then it's like, okay, yeah, because you said this, right? Those 4 words, because you said blah, 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 I think that this would be a perfect fit for you. I think I have a solution, right? And they're only going to do that if you're listening for problems and asking like quality questions, basically like data farming, right?
But you're a problem solver, and even a lot of entrepreneurs. It's kind of crazy. Even a lot of entrepreneurs, real entrepreneurs, are still not solving the problems that they have in their business. I see it all the time.
Well,
the old school ones, a lot of them too. They'll just
That's-
like
that's-
that is my
Always
taco
do.
shop speech. I had it today with Ed. You like tacos?
I love
They're the
tacos.
greatest thing on earth.
Yeah.
Give me a taco shop around here that hits all 5 points perfectly. Super clean bathrooms, super clean restaurant, amazing friendly staff, an awesome product, and and the menu and everything looks good.
Yeah.
Can you name one? Nope.
Nope. And it's so simple.
And that's the
It's so
problem
simple,
with most
yeah.
businesses. You identify the weakness. Like, I'm going to open a taco shop. Well, it's fake, right? But I love tacos. But I guarantee you, if I opened it, it'd be
a
the best
fucking
one
hit.
around.
It'd be a hit. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think
because there's a formula.
there's a formula, and the other thing is you know, like I said this on podcasts before, you either care or you're fucking careless. So if you care, you're going to do whatever you can to make that business number one. And if you don't know how to make it number one, then you bring in a consultant or somebody that can do it. But carelessness, eventually, it leads to your doom or your demise in business, I think.
I posted that today. I don't know if you've seen my story. I said the person who feels like they know everything, they're gonna fail sooner or later. It's only a fool despises wisdom.
Yeah, he would say that at the club. He was like,
No. But yeah, and he was right next to me giving me a drink. This is great. I mean, it happens. It happens because if you're in business and you think you know it all, I mean, you have no room to grow.
Well, here's what were we gonna say? You guys-
no, go ahead.
One of the like these two philosophies, right? Like we all operate based off of our own philosophies. These two things it sounds so simple. It takes 5 minutes to learn, but it takes a lifetime to master. Number one is who do you listen to, right? Who do you listen to? Do you listen to people that have the results that you want and who have been where you are or like walking that same path? And then number two, what's your teachability index? So it actually goes right back to that.
teachability is big.
Teachability index, right? Everybody said, if I ask you right now on a scale of 1 to 10, how coachable, how willing to learn do you think you are? Everybody's like, oh, I'm a fucking 10, right? So they say they're a 10. They say they're a 10 until it comes time to buy the book, until it comes time to fly to the event, or
To do MMA.
or until it comes time to hire a coach, right?
Kicked in the head.
So who do you listen to? Do they have the results that you want? But secondly, what's your teachability index? Because once you think you've got it, you lost it.
When the
It's done.
student is ready, the
Yeah.
teacher appears.
Yeah.
Proverb,
Yeah.
Chinese proverb.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
when you're ready to
It's
appear.
real stuff.
So I think I like this. I think there needs to be more programs that are legit, that can reach people, that they can pay a little bit amount of money to get coached. I'm not saying you got to go too crazy. Me personally, like my stuff's private on Instagram. I want to open it up, but I love like Nietzsche's quote, like the higher you soar, the smaller you appear to those that cannot fly. So I never really want to put my shit out there.
Yeah.
Because no, really,
No, I get it.
you get it. Because
good.
I don't want
That's
people.
fine, yeah.
I want people to look up to me, but to not like that. You know, I don't want to
Yeah.
be putting it in your face because there's a lot of people struggling out there.
Yeah, there
So
is,
how do you
yeah.
find that balance, and what do you do to give back? Like you're up there, you've created these business, you're successful. Tell us about your charitable component. What do you do?
Yeah, charitable component, I would say tithing is a very, very big thing for me. It is a universal.
All right, you just
law.
opened the door, so we're gonna get into that too. But go ahead, keep
Okay,
going.
so we're going to talk about tithing. So, a lot of times people, when they think about giving or contributions, right? What Tony Robbins says, what we're all here for, realistically, if you boil it all down, is just growth and contribution. That's really what we want on this planet. So, in terms of contribution, people think it's like giving money to somebody, which it is. You know, charitable donations is great. But tithing for me is the 3 T's. 3 T's, right? Tithe your time, tithe your treasure, and tithe your talent. So, not only contributing to people and giving them money, right? That's great. But are you giving them your time, and are you teaching them? Like, are you giving them some talents? A lot of people, they get these things, whether it's money or time or finances or whatever, and they hoard it. They hoard it to themselves. It becomes stagnant. It's a fucking blood clot in their finances, right? So as long as you're constantly just, it's an ebb and flow, just like, a dynamic exchange, actually giving and receiving, it's all part of this. I believe that God could do more with 90% than we can do with 100%. So, like, that's like...
Well,
yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I was going to answer that too for him because I've known him since 2017, and he has always been consistent and done his thing, but he's also someone that gives a lot in producing things for other people to also gain success. So he does it for himself, but he does a lot of things that he doesn't have to do for other people to win as well. And I think that's huge. And yes, again, it's connected to him, but there's entrepreneurs out there that just kind of do their own thing and they're selfish and all right, go get your bag. And
So what's the percentage an entrepreneur should have though in giving?
What did you say?
A percentage. Like if you're an entrepreneur, like what would you say? I know what I would say. Like if you're an entrepreneur, like
100%, sure.
what percentage of you should you give that's charitable? And I'm not talking about just financial. We talk about time or any of those things. So do you have a formula that you usually use?
I wouldn't say a formula. I mean, I didn't come up with it, but I would say 10% minimum. 10% minimum is solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
10%
biblical. So that's what I wanted to ask.
Biblical, yeah.
So that's what I wanted to ask you. So
Yeah,
first off, I love the 3 T's. That's really dope. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do want to ask you. So what's your foundation of how you live, work, family, everything? What's your foundation built off of?
That's good. Foundation. Yeah, that's good. That's deep. And I like this. Yeah. So I think that my foundation, I don't even know if this is the right way to answer it, but I think that my foundation is literally just built upon like true wealth to me is being able to wake up every single day and basically do whatever I want to do with my wife and my daughter. And so if my whole premise could be around making my life and my business and work all kind of blend around them first, that's my top priority is family, is my girls, right? That's what really drives me is I just want to go out there. I just want to be traveling around the world and seeing them smiling in different places at different times, right? So I think that my foundation is really built upon freedom-based living. Just what... The dollar amount doesn't really matter, right? If I can just show somebody how to replace what their current income is, but now they're spending 100% of their time with their family, basically doing whatever the fuck they want to be doing, would you still take that opportunity? Yeah, anybody would,
Time is
right?
currency.
Because it's time. It's time. It's not really the money, it's just time. So I think that my foundation, that's a better answer. My foundation is built around having 100% control over my time, I think.
And I do want to. No, that's good. I mean, that's your thing. So family.
Yeah.
But what my thing is too is okay. So, like, but beyond all that, strip all that away. Like the money, having all that stuff that you're building. What's the foundation of that all built off of? Because wealth and all that, like, let's just. I mean, that can.
Are you talking about like spirituality?
If he has spirituality in that, right? If he's a God-fearing man, different things like that. Like it could be family, it could be whatever.
Good segue.
But I'm trying to find out, like what is all of that built off of? Like, strip everything away of who you are or what you're doing, like if your heart inside would be able to speak to us and explain who you are, what is that built off of? Like some people
Love.
say, God,
Yeah.
hey, love God,
Yeah.
things like
Love,
that. You know,
God. I'm a man of faith. Obviously not in church as much as I'd like to be, but I feel like I'm in church every single day when I pray and when I meditate and when I spend time with Him. But I'm always, speaking with Him, having conversations with God. I think it does base around a lot of that. I think that the golden rule is a philosophy that's like deeply ingrained into all the businesses that I do. And that's why, I run a successful credit repair agency and I'm not out there just scamming people or just, a fraud, is because you want to do unto others as you would want to be done to yourself. So I want to offer them a high level service. I want to get them the results that they want, that they paid me for, because if I were on the receiving end of this, then obviously that's me in their shoes, right? So, yeah, that's a good question. Yeah,
Yeah, you got to lift people up.
well, because you're really
contribution, right? Growth and contribution.
well, you're really like in tune with how you want to handle yourself in business and family and everything.
So that comes from something.
That's what it's coming from something. At the same time, like everything's built. I mean, she even says this a lot too. I believe this too, though. Everything's built off your spirituality
100%.
and intellect.
100%.
So I mean, that's who you really are. I mean, because we're not really not our bodies and all that. All this is gonna fade,
Yeah,
goes back to dust.
if you strip it down, are you
But
a good
intellect,
person?
spiritual,
Yeah,
yes.
no, like
Spirit.
it costs
very
zero.
deep person.
It costs $0.00 to be a decent or a good human being. Like and there's like we're talking about scammers. We're talking about people that have this facade. 2023 was one of the most stressful years of my life, especially in business, because I decided to not partner. I thank God that I did not give this guy equity of my company, Stellar Credit, since 2018. You know who I'm talking about. But fortunately for me, we started this other venture. We split it 3 ways. It was just me and 2 other partners. Things went south, and it was stressful because the ethics, the morals, the integrity were not there on the other parties. And I don't want to be
Were they
involved
friends?
with something like that. They were friends.
Well,
This
see,
is
that's
somebody
something that really quick we should address. And entrepreneurs listening, you don't do business with friends because it will get soured quickly. I'm not saying every friend, but that's important. Like, had you known that, like if there was a guidebook or your dad might say, hey, son, never do business with friends, you might have avoided that. That's why we can kind of, when we have these entrepreneurship panels, we can talk about that with these entrepreneurs and say, hey, listen, I'm telling you right now, you're saying, hey, you have friends to do business with, get out, do it on yourself.
I'll rephrase that. I wouldn't even necessarily say friend. I would say neighbor. Like I was young. I was
family.
14, I was 14, 15 years old. I looked up to this guy. I'm like, this guy's never working. He's always home. He drives the nice car. He has the nice watch. We're looking for all these materialistic things as evidence to, can this person help me get my goals? Just like what all these scammers do with their marketing, right? So obviously me looking backwards now, I feel a little bit ridiculous. I feel like I was suckered into it, but there are some manipulative people out there, and you got to be careful. You have to be very, very militant with your energy. You have to be militant with your time and with your, proximity is power, right? So when I start seeing things like kind of off, just the attitude of like, oh, fuck it, just invoice them. And like when we're putting ourselves before the customers or we're putting ourselves before the value that we had promised, right? Services rendered. No, I'm not about it. So,
but brother, you just said that you kind of feel bad looking back, and that's a great lesson for you. And 100%. I'm glad it happened to you at your young age, that you learned it now, because you don't want to get deep into something and then learn
it was like 10 months of fucking hell. Dude.
Oh, I know.
Like I'm the type of guy that's like, thank God it's Monday, like let's fucking go. But during that little partnership, that little blip of time, Sunday comes around, I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. Monday, we're gonna put out fires.
That's right,
do this.
right.
And then it just wasn't fun for me anymore. So that's why I decided
and that's
to walk
the
away.
reason why people self-medicate. We can go on a tangent right now.
Yeah.
You start drinking, you start doing this and that. It's very important as an entrepreneur to minimize your liabilities. All the way around, and in life.
And liabilities could be.
And in
people.
life,
Yeah.
You don't need 20 fucking cars, a Harley, you don't need all those things. You don't need the fancy clothes. Like I'm on this big kick, like looking in my closet, thinking, the fuck was I thinking? I'm looking at $2,000 coats with their tags still on it. Seriously.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, what was I?
Or the $2,000 shoes that fucking.
Right.
feel
Now I'm saying,
terrible.
look, I'm into watches. That's one
I like
thing.
watches, yeah.
I like my car, but you keep it real. Stay humble. You don't need that much.
Stay humble, hustle hard,
and your clothes, your watches, your cars, your homes don't define you. What defines you is right here.
Yeah, I think you can
100%, yeah.
save yourself a lot of time as an entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur if you get that foundation first. Because when I first started working with him and doing things, I had no foundation, spiritual foundation. So it was just like I fell into making wrong decisions, and I set myself back so much. And it's like I wish,
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, I wish I would have had that foundation. But it's a lesson learned, and I
But
kind
you
of
can teach that now.
yeah,
Yes, exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so now I see the water completely different. I see the business completely different, and I feel just more confident about moving forward. But I had to take a huge step away from business and MLM because I was around people that
Tainted it,
I
yeah.
allowed myself to make bad decisions and selfish decisions. But I wanted to ask you, with the whole opportunity online, because we used to do it a lot of in person and kind of old school, like person to person sales. Now
Yeah.
it's affiliate marketing. So what kind of person is able to do this? Because you have a huge, you have a lot of people that have done this under you and you're coaching. What kind of people are you doing?
Anybody and everybody. I mean, like, realistically, I mean, it sounds cliche. Like, I feel like anybody, literally anybody that has anything between their ears can do this, but not everybody will. Because it's like you said, they're looking for the quick fix. They're looking for it quick and easy. If they don't make money the first day of the first week, the first month, peace, deuce. Like, they're out, right?
Yeah.
And the people that get started with you are not going to be the same faces that you're looking at the end. When you're at the top, like, you're going to think that this person's going to go all the way with you, but they don't. So I feel like anybody can. And honestly, some of my marketing and like what I've been doing lately with my brand and my business is like, hey, if you have a smartphone, if you have opposable thumbs, and if you have a high willingness to learn and accept positive changes in your life, I can show you how to make 5 figures a month online from your phone. And that's really been my angle, is like showing people how to do that. Because back in the day,
Yeah.
you know, it was slow.
Everyone could do it. You could do it.
Why don't I got an idea? Are you open to this? I got a really good idea because I wanted to do a collab with them earlier. Why don't we get a viewer or a listener or somebody that writes in? You mentor them and show them how to make 5 figures, and let's see if we can make that
live stream
happen.
it and do all
and,
that.
and document
Yeah.
it.
It's a wrap.
Good idea.
If you guys are watching this right now, if you have a smartphone, if you have a high willingness to learn and accept positive changes, we
Send
can
an
really
email
make it
in.
happen, yeah.
We'll live
And
stream
let's
the
document
process.
this stuff.
That
We can
would
live stream
be-
the process.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't that be great? Because listen,
Little
the proof
launch.
is in the pudding.
Exactly.
Hey, he said he volunteers.
Live stream it.
He'll live stream it from his office.
No, but my
Help me.
point is right.
Yeah.
Like how many people are willing to do that? So I look at you and I think, you know what? All right, I got confidence in you.
I
Let's
do
make
too.
this
actually.
happen.
I can smell a scammer a mile away, dude. And I don't get
Everybody's
that
bullshit
vibe at all from
detectors
you.
are very
Well,
finely
that's
tuned,
another
Well,
thing.
you
At
know?
this
because
age, you
we've
can't
been
do
through
that
it.
anymore.
Because because we've learned our lessons, and it's like, you know, it's that cliche thing, but
Yeah.
I actually say it like, you know, looking back, we can only connect the dots looking backwards, right? Like, life makes a lot more fucking sense looking backwards than it did looking forward.
Iron sharpens iron, Ashley.
Because like while you're in it sucks. You
Yeah.
know, like you're embracing the suck, kind of like what David Goggins says, and you're embracing it, and it's terrible, and it's kind of like you feel like a bug in the rug, and you just got to change your perspective, and you're just a little fine tune, like a little tweak
But
away. You know,
one
Well,
more thing.
we're running out of time, so go ahead. Go get that one question.
Last one, you know, and I said this in New York at a college. They went around and asked what makes you successful, and the girl said, I have a vision board, and the next guy said, oh, I record affirmations, and it just came in my head. I said, a lion doesn't look in the mirror and wish he was a lion. He already knows. There's so much bullshit out there, man, and all these gurus telling you the same thing, and you go spend a week there, and you get all hyped up, and you come back, and you're the same person because you don't have it. So I think it's really important too to tell an entrepreneur, hey, you know, it sucks to tell you this, but you really don't have it.
You gotta have both sides of the equation. You could have the vision board and affirmations and the praying, but then if you don't have actions, it's not
That
gonna
You
work.
call-
vision board,
you-
I don't want to get started on that because I think that's all bullshit. To be honest with you,
I call it
like
armchair
I think you're either
manifestors, yeah.
nobody needs to take. I don't need a vision board. I don't need recordings. I don't need to watch.
That's just how
David.
That's just how they.
Affirmation.
That's
It
how
is a
they
day.
do
It
it.
I
is a
get
daily-
it, but
He has a badass vision board.
right,
Like,
but I
And it works
understand
for
it.
him.
But I understand it.
Don't mention that
But
vision
if
board.
you don't have,
All right, we don't need to talk about vision boards right now. Okay.
hey,
All
if
right?
you don't have the
So
core,
stop embarrassing me.
Yeah.
look.
Fuck here, Mom.
The bottom line is this: if you don't have the core willingness to be successful, then having a vision board, recordings, going to
Yeah.
gurus, it's not going to help
with
you.
action.
Yeah.
So last question though. So what is first off like? Well, we'll go to that. One last question. So, like we do this a lot. We always ask entrepreneurs on this, but like just like we talked about before, take everything away from you. Who and you were to tell people
said
who you
love.
are. Who are you? Oh, you're.
He said it. You,
and that's
remember,
what
you,
you
you
are?
asked him earlier.
The love.
Yeah,
Hey, shut up! Don't correct
you
me.
remember? You forgot. You forgot. He's getting old. He's getting old. He's getting old.
I just want to be known as. Okay, let me put it this way.
I'm gonna elbow you in your glasses.
My bad, pops. My bad, pops.
I want to be a man among men. I just want to do. I want if people are talking about me behind my back, I want them to say, yeah, he's a great friend, he's a great coach, he's a great husband, great father, great fucking everything. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. So I feel like that's really what a good foundation or basis for me is if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it 120% or more, right? But yeah, I think if you boil it all down, I just want to be a good man. Or you know, a good woman. Whoever's watching this, doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl, but like my idea is this: just be a good person, find opportunities to grow, put yourself in an environment like this that's conducive for growth, right? And then find ways to contribute. But if you don't got the grit, if you don't have the willingness, yeah, the vision boards, the you know, the mantras and the affirmations and the meditation and the cold plunges, all that shit,
Yeah, and the
all
cold
that
plunges.
shit, all those cold showers that you're taking, none of that shit matters
That's right.
unless you're gonna get off your ass. And what's his? I forget
Thank
his
you.
name. Yeah, I forget his name. David from Chicken Soup for the.
I don't know who.
Tom Cruise played him in that old movie. David Meltzer. David Meltzer. He says it's the law of Guama. What is it? Get off your ass. Goya. Goya. Get off your ass and make that shit happen.
Yeah.
The journaling and the visions and the that's
what
not gonna
kills
work.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kills me. But I'm glad you put it like that.
I just want to honor you real quick because, like I said, I've known you for so long, and just to see everything that you've done, and you've have fallen and you've gotten back up. You've been a huge influence in my life, and it's just amazing to see like the husband you are, the father you are, and just who you're becoming is just really. And when he told me that you're the first person I thought about, you know.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
you've had such an impact.
Yeah,
in
you
my
guys
life.
actually had one. Yeah, I mean, thank you so much, Ash. I appreciate that. We've worked together really well over the years. You know, your family, we used to live together, right? You know, you had her on the show. You had my boy Kale Robinson was recently on the show. Lotus Seamoss, right?
Yeah.
But no, if can I leave it with one thing?
Yeah. Go ahead.
One
Do your thing.
Yeah. I agree with what he said. Obviously, hard work has a lot to do with it, but I believe in what's called the training balance scale. So what I mean by that is focus more on like emotional intelligence and how you feel, how you think, what you say, what you do. Like, is what you're doing every single day, your actions, are they congruent with what you're saying? You say you want to change your life, but then you still sleep in the next day. So are your words and your actions congruent? Because if they're not congruent, then that's why you're living a life of confusion and frustration. That's why you're living the same year every
Your
single year.
blueprint's not matching.
Yeah, it just doesn't work, right? So I think that just pay more attention to your mindset and mentality, and that's why there are so many people that seem like boneheads. You're like, how is this guy making 7 figures, 8 figures a month? You know, and you're wondering, I'm smarter than him, I'm better than him, I'm better looking, I'm more connected, I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, well, what's his emotional intelligence? How does he feel every single day? You know, and that's why oftentimes you don't even need to know how you're doing something. You just need to have clear intentions on what you want.
What you're doing.
Just do it. Just do it. Just get it done. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, yeah, we appreciate you coming on. You killed
that's
it, man.
great.
Yeah, it was a good episode, man.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna close out.
That was
Appreciate you
fun,
coming. Yeah. What was your experience? How was your experience on
It's
it?
fantastic. Invite me out sometime, and next
Yeah,
time
you
let's
gotta
do some
come on
tacos,
again.
right?
For sure.
Yeah,
Do
let's
some
do it.
tacos. All right.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching. We're gonna have another episode right after this, so stay tuned. How's over Baz? I'm Jacob Casas,
I'm Rico Savage.
Eddie Millis.
Ashley Paola.
and we are out.
Right.